Hello and welcome to another session of the MySolo401k Financial Daily Webinar Series. Thank you so much for checking us out. If you have questions or topics on this topic or either unrelated topics, please chat over those questions now so that we can be sure to get to them all. Again, welcome to your daily Solo401k webinar and Q&A session with MySolo401k Financial, where we help you to stop overpaying taxes and start building real retirement wealth. Today's topic, MySolo401k plus Schwab, how sole proprietors can still open a solo 401k here in 2026 and make 2025 contributions and have your accounts at Schwab. This is your chance to get answers. Please chat over questions now. Whether on this topic or anything else, please chat them over now so that we can be sure to get to them all. Let's get started. So as always, the presentation is being provided for educational purposes only. It should not be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice, nor as a solicitation. When making an investment decision, please consult with your tax professional and or legal professional, as well as investment professionals. So thank you so much. As we go through these slides, if you find them to be helpful, it would be greatly appreciated by us as well as your fellow solopreneur if you could like the video, as that helps us to get the word out to other solopreneurs like you. It helps us to train the algorithm, whether you're on LinkedIn or X or YouTube or Instagram. So please like the video or share it with others that might find it to be helpful. That'd be very much appreciated. So let's start out with the foundation of who's eligible to set up a solo 401k. Then we'll unlock how sole proprietors can still open a solo 401k here in 2026 and make all types of contributions for 2025, even employee contributions, as well as how to have the holding accounts for your solo 401k at Schwab or really at the bank or brokerage of choice. But again, let's start out with that foundation of who is even eligible to set up a solo 401k. Who is a solo 401k for? Well, a solo 401k is for an owner-only business. So specifically an owner-only business with no full-time W-2 employees. So think like a realtor, a freelancer, a consultant. Really, there's two prongs to the eligibility criteria. One is you have to report earned self-employment income on your taxes. Now that can be done in different ways. For example, if your business is taxed as an S Corp or a C Corp, that would be W-2 wages that you receive from the S Corp or the C Corp. If the business is taxed as a partnership, that would be income reported on line 14 of the K-1 that you receive for the partnership. Or specific to this topic, if your business is taxed as a sole proprietor, you could be a 1099 independent contractor where you don't even have a formal legal entity. Or you could have, say, an LLC, but it's a disregarded entity. So it's taxed as a sole proprietorship. So in that case, the way that you are eligible is that you report earned self-employment income on Schedule C of your 1040. Now, the other piece of the equation, the other prong to the eligibility criteria is that you cannot have any non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees. So that means you could have contractors, your spouse could be working in the business as a W-2. You could even have other business partners that are 3% or more business partners who receive a W-2. The key is that it's an owner-only business, so no non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees. So, and that's for no employees working for any business that's owned by you or a spouse, if any. So if you meet those two eligibility criteria, now you're in the game. Now you can set up a solo 401k. And if your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship, you could even set up a plan in 2026 and make all types of contributions for 2025. And we'll talk about the deadline and the specifics here in a moment. But just to close the loop in terms of the eligibility criteria, in terms of some of the top eligibility considerations, do I need a separate entity? No, you don't. We got many, many individuals that operate without a formal legal entity. You do need to report earned self-employment income on your taxes. We talked about what that is in the previous slide. There's no minimum amount of earned self-employment income that you need to report. So it's not just for, super successful or high income solopreneurs. Even a small amount of earned self-employment income will make you eligible as long as you don't have any full-time W-2 employees working for any business owned by you or a spouse, if any. Your spouse or business partner can participate in the plan as long as they are also reporting their own earned self-employment income. You could have a solo 401k even if you have a W-2 job, a day job, even if you participate in your W-2 employer-sponsored plan, as long as you've got that separate earned self-employment income. Now, the late start reality check is that it's 2026, obviously. And so a lot of individuals were setting up a solo 401k plan by December 31st, 2025. And if you signed up with us by December 31st, 2025, then you would have preserved the ability to make all types of contributions, including employee, employer, and voluntary after tax by your business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension in 2026. But if you didn't have a solo 401k, whether with us or setting up a new one with us by December 31st, 2025, and now you're just getting started, so late start reality check here in 2026, it is still possible to make 2025 solo 401k contributions, but the details matter. So if your business is not taxed as a sole proprietorship, let's say you're an S Corp, or it's taxed as a partnership or a C Corp, then it's too late to be able to make employee contributions for 2025, but you could still set up a plan and make employer and or voluntary after-tax contributions for 2025 by your business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension. But if your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship, could be just an unincorporated business or maybe a single member LLC that's taxed as a disregarded entity, you still have flexibility, right? You could still set up a plan here in 2026 and make all types of contributions, including employee contributions, but you would have to make those employee contributions by April 15th, even if you file an extension for your business tax return. In other words, even if you file an extension for your 1040. Now, if you set up a plan here in 2026 and your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship and you file an extension for your 1040, that would give you more time to make the employer and or voluntary after-tax contributions for 2025, but it wouldn't give you more time to make that employee contribution. You would have had to have set up the plan by December 31st, 2025 to be able to make even the employee contribution by the extended deadline. But sitting here in January 2026, there's still plenty of time for sole proprietors who didn't set up a plan by the end of 2025 to still open up a solo 401k and make all types of contributions for 2025, even the employee contribution by April 15th, 2026. So that's a special rule thanks to the Secure Act for sole proprietors and single member LLCs, that they could still establish a plan in 2026 and make those employee contributions by April 15th. And if they file an extension for their 1040, they could even make employer and voluntary after-tax contributions out until October 15th. So no December 31st setup is required under those Secure Act rules for sole proprietors. So there's still time. Now, that doesn't mean you necessarily want to wait, right? You wouldn't want to wait again until the last minute. So you go ahead and set up the plan now. That'll give you time to open up the accounts, determine how much you're going to contribute, and then go ahead and make those 2025 contributions either by April 15th, if you're talking about employee contributions, or by October 15th, if you file an extension for your 1040 and you're talking about employer and or voluntary after-tax contributions for 2025. Now, where does Schwab come into play? Well, it's important to understand that a 401k is really a legal entity. It's a retirement trust. So like any legal entity, it's the documents that create it. So if you want to be able to take advantage of the advanced features of our plan, whether that's the Mega Backdoor Roth Solo 401k contributions, the ability to take a 401k participant loan, the ability to qualify for $1,500 in solo 401k tax credits, you need to have a plan like the one offered by my Solo 401k Financial that supports all those advanced features. In addition, if you want the advanced support, like the 5500 EZ preparation and filing under the electronic filing system, or the 1099R preparation and filing under the electronic filing system, or the loan document preparation for those that want to take a 401k loan, then you need to work with MySolo401k Financial because we handle that, as a service for our customers. We don't charge any additional fee for that. They just have to request it in a timely fashion. Now, don't hold your money. We don't provide accounts. We don't provide investments. We don't provide investment advice. So that means that we're super compatible. We're super portable. So whether you're working with an advisor that maybe custodies at a specific place, or you just want to have your accounts at a specific place, like a Schwab, it's super portable. That means you can use our plan documents, but open up the accounts at the bank or brokerage of choice. And we're very hands-on in helping our customers open up the accounts. So looking at Schwab specifically, Schwab has paperwork to open up accounts. So Schwab offers their own vanilla solo 401k. So their vanilla solo 401k doesn't support the Mega Backdoor Roth, doesn't allow for 401k loans, doesn't support the tax credits. But at the same time, they will open up brokerage accounts for people that bring their own plan documents. And we prepare the paperwork that Schwab requires to open up those accounts. Those are free accounts. Schwab doesn't charge anything to set up those accounts for our customers. We'll help you open up those accounts. Literally, we'll pre-fill the paperwork to open up those accounts. Now, if you want those advanced features, it does make sense to go with a experienced provider. No one is more experienced than us because we were the first solo 401k provider to offer a plan that supports the Mega Backdoor Roth. We were the first solo 401k provider to offer a plan that qualifies for the tax credits. So it's going to make sense to work with MySolo401k Financial because we have all that experience. We provide all that support. Now, again, those critical deadlines are the business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extensions. So it's going to depend on how your business is taxed. So again, sign up early to allow time for plan documents and account setup. And then we will work with you to help open up the accounts at the bank or brokerage of choice. The MySolo401k Financial Advantage is all the advanced features, right? So if you're looking to maximize Roth, you're not going to be able to do it more with any other plan because our plan allows for Roth. It allows for Mega Backdoor Roth. It allows for employer Roth contributions. It allows for in-plan Roth conversions. We were the first plan to support the tax credits. We provide the 5500 easy and $1099 support, no additional charge. In addition, our plan allows you to invest in alternative investments, right? That could be real estate, could be crypto, precious metals like gold, etc., just to give a few examples. And then lastly, of course, the participant loan features. So with our plan, you can literally borrow from the plan and use the money for any purpose whatsoever. It's not going to be considered a taxable distribution as long as it's documented as a loan within those loan terms. So you're limited to no more than 50% of the balance, not to exceed $50,000. It's got to be paid back in either a monthly or quarterly payment, up to you. Equal payments of principal and interest. So that's prime plus 1% or a CD rate plus 2%. And those payments spread over a 5-year term. And then, of course, it's got to be documented on loan documents. But again, we prepare those loan documents for no additional charge for our customers. You just have to submit an online form on our website, and we prepare those documents within 1 business day. So next steps to get started is you would go to MySolo401k.net, click on Open Account, then under Solo401k, click on Get Started. It's just a quick 1-minute application, very straightforward information like your name, the name of your business, what you want to name the plan. We recommend 2 words in the word trust for a total of 3 words. So it really could be any 2 words, right? It could be a derivative, for example, of your business name, or it could be something totally different, like your favorite color and the street you grew up on. So we will then prepare the documents to establish the plan within the same business day. So we're very fast in that regard. So we got some questions now. Thank you so much for your participation. And again, if you're finding this to be helpful, please like this video. It helps us to get the word out to others like you, other solopreneurs, other advisors who might be looking to catch on with their retirement savings, who still might be looking to make 2025 contributions. Like we learned, if your business is taxed as a sole proprietor, you could still set up a solo 401k here in 2026 and make all types of contributions for 2025. You would just have to make those employee contributions by April 15th. So Like the video, we can get the word out to others like you. Thank you so much. So the first question here, when contributing both employee and employer pre-tax contributions with an S corp, I understand they are reported via the W-2 and Form 1120-S respectively. Is there anything else that needs to be done to distinguish those different contributions within the pre-tax account? No, there is not. So you could deposit those pre-tax contributions, whether employee, whether employer, to the same pre-tax solo 401k account, which could be at Schwab, right? Like we learned on today's slides. Thank you for bringing the good question. Do we first start with opening an account at MySolo401k and then go to Schwab to open the account? Yes, start with us, because you need to have those documents, right? So the way that you create the plan is through the documents, and then you open up the account at the bank or brokerage of choice. And as part of the onboarding process, we'll ask you, where do you want to have the accounts at? So if you choose Schwab, then we will prepare the Schwab paperwork. So we make it as easy as possible for our customers. Great question. Thank you for bringing it, Vic. All right, so if there's more questions, whether on this topic or other unrelated topics, please don't hesitate to chat it over. If you have a question, others most certainly have the same question, so don't be shy. Thank you, Charles. I've been trying to add my wife to my solo 401k. The forms I received appeared to be inaccurate. Okay, let me pull up your account, Charles, flag it, and we'll follow up with you as soon as we log off here. Thanks for flagging it. Okay, I've got your email, Charles. All right, we wanted to also take a moment to invite you to our community. We've got the largest community of solo 401k owners, advisors, interested parties, which means we've got vibrant forums. There's a library of videos and webinars, so there's a ton of ways to learn and to share the knowledge. It's totally free to join. All are welcome. So please don't hesitate to join. Just takes a moment. Yes, so if you have a basic solo 401k plan and you want to upgrade to our plan, that's a very common scenario. So the process is referred to as a restatement. So as part of that restatement process, new accounts will need to be opened for the restated plan. Let's say you have a let's say that you have a solo 401k at Fidelity, right? Fidelity's plan is very vanilla, right? No Mega Backdoor Roth, no tax credits, no 401k participant loans, no 5500 easy support. At the same time, Fidelity will open up accounts for those that have their own plan documents, just like Schwab, right? Like we learned with Schwab. Schwab's in the same boat. They offer their own vanilla plan. So what you're doing is you're separating the account provider from the plan provider. Remember, the plan is the documents. So those documents can be updated and upgraded to our documents via the restatement process. Then new accounts could be opened, but they could be opened oftentimes at the same custodian, like in the case of Fidelity, like in the case of Schwab. And then as part of that onboarding process, we will help you open up the accounts at the bank or brokerage of choice. We will help you transfer from the pre-existing account over to the new accounts. So what I'm thank you. Hopefully that makes sense, Charles. What I'm recommending, Charles, is just to sit tight and we'll follow up with you as soon as we wind up with this webinar. Thank you so much again for following up. All right, we'll give it a moment to see if any more questions come across. All right, looks like that's it for today's solo 401k session. Thank you so much for investing your time with us. Your time is valuable and your retirement future is worth it. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe so we can keep building this community. We'll be back here tomorrow with more crucial content to help you secure your retirement.